I am here with the president of the OPEI, friend of the show, Kris Kiser. Welcome back to the Green Shirt Podcast, Kris.
We want this to be experiential. We want people to come here for the week, have a terrific time. People are willing to talk about their business and their challenges and learn from one another, and that's just an extraordinary thing. We want to make this as good an experience as possible. You guys have been such an extraordinary development. You're out here to make these people's lives better, their businesses better, and that's what I want to do. You tell me. Again, you know best, you know your audience best, you know these folks best. I'll listen to you. If folks have a good time, if they come here and they engage with one another, it's worth it. It makes the show what it is. If you're not here, you're missing it.
Have you announced the opening reception for 2025 yet?
I'll do it right now.
Welcome to Louisville, Kentucky. I am here with the president of the OPEI, friend of the show, Kris Kiser. Welcome back to the Green Shirt Podcast, Kris. For the first time in person.
Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Naylor wanted me to ask you. He said last night he's at the concert and he sees some guy getting pat down. He's like, what's going on over there? It's the man who paid for the whole thing.
Right.
Tell us the story. What in the world happened?
I wrote the check and I couldn't get in the building. I'm like, seriously, guys, you got to let me in. No, it was early, and I was coming in the side door.
Was Naylor the hero? He made it sound like he
did.
He
helped me out. I couldn't get in through the front, and so I got into the lobby, and I got my credentials, and they're like, no. So I had to go through the metal detector.
Paid the bill, and they wouldn't even let him in.
Yeah, so it's all good. It was a terrific concert last night, great energy. A lot of the attendance was crazy. Fun times. So we're going to do it again next year, and we're going to invest more.
Awesome. Well, tell us the good news, hopefully.
It's the biggest show ever. So we're 41 years young here in Louisville, Kentucky, as you know. We're sold out now in our second year as owner-manager of the show. And the 28,000 threshold. So each of the 3 years that we've owned and managed the show, we've grown it. Last year was significant. Again, we sold out last year. We sold out this year. Had 27,000 last year. It looks like about 28,500 this year.
Congratulations, Kris. And then
it's a big team, right? We have a lot of folks working on this.
I will tell you what, working with Evan Cox is such a blessing. He is so on top of things and organized and detail-oriented and passionate. I mean, I know, Mr. Producer, you work with Evan on some things as well. We love Evan.
And I'm none of those things, so I love him too. Thank goodness, because I am not organized and I'm technically challenged as a living fossil. But it's great, and he does a nice job. And I want to say this, you guys are so good for us, and you communicate to your audience, and you help us sell the show, and you help us improve the show, whether it's education and training and engagement. And we want this to be experiential. We want people to come here for the week, have a terrific time, and you guys learn peer-to-peer options. So whether it's that Churchill Downs or the concert where you get together, and I'm struck, I go to your shows, by how much is shared. People are willing to talk about their business and their challenges and learn from one another. And that's just an extraordinary thing, and you are responsible for that. So you're very good for us, very good for the show, very good for the business, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. When do tickets go on sale for 2025? What are the dates for 2025?
I knew you'd ask me that. It's about the same time next year.
October.
It's that third week of October.
This is where Evan Cox comes in handy.
I think we're the week after this one. I think it's the next week, but you can register now. So we're year-round operation, year-round registration. So register now. Prices will never be better. Yeah. Get that hotel room. That's the challenge again. You and I have talked about it. You have to plan for this show, right? Mm-hmm. We stretch this town. So we're a citywide event. We'll do about 34,000 room nights here that week. And so if you get the hotel now you want to stay in. Get your dinner reservations, that kind of thing. This is the kind of thing you have to plan for.
Yeah, now we took your advice that you gave on the show and we parked next to the Skywalk. Can you tell someone who's coming who maybe this year you're listening, you're like, man, I got stuck in the parking, scramble to leave. It's just bumper to bumper, you're barely going anywhere, but you have a secret of where you can avoid the traffic.
Yeah, park on the north side of the building. So historically, everything's oriented to the south, right? The main gate is on the south side of the property, and it's the main gate. It's where Uber wants to take you in the cabs and that sort of thing, but that traps you. That traps you into a tough traffic pattern when you leave. Yeah. And everybody leaves at the same time, and so it's true rush hour. The key is to park on the north side of the building. And remember, there's a significant renovation now taking place at the Kentucky Exposition Center. It's going to be bigger, newer, better, modern, but there's going to be some challenges as that project gets underway. So the whole place is reoriented to the north. And you and I think, talked earlier, and I was like telling people to use Gate 4 off of Crittenden Drive. And darn it, it's my bad. I'm so sorry.
Gate 4.
Oh my gosh.
He was following me in, and I'm like, Kris Kiser said Gate 4. It's closed.
And it's closed. But that's part of and it was supposed to be open. It was supposed to be open for the state fair, which just precedes us, and they didn't get it done. But it's going to be, and they do have a new roundabout back here and the new Gate 4. And so, I mean, big improvements are underway. But as it gets there, there'll be some challenges. But park on the north side, use the Crittenden Drive gates. That keeps you away from the south lots that put you on the north side. And like you said, people don't realize that you can just come across that skyway. Drops you right into the north wing lobby.
Yep. Very convenient. Have you ever seen that Chevy Chase movie where they go out to Wally World on vacation?
Yeah.
And you ever watch that one?
I have, but it's been a bit.
All right. Well, then they get there and it's all closed, and that's what happened. We pulled in and we couldn't get in, so we were able to get in though.
You're resourceful. Here you are. How was the show? I know it's your show, but how was our show for you guys?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Kris, John Deere. I mean, they have so much new mowers and things of that nature here. But how awesome is this studio that they built us? So we've been here start to finish. We got in here Wednesday morning, podcasted all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday from the John Deere booth, and we're so grateful to our friends at John Deere for creating this in their booth, an awesome podcast studio.
And look at this exhibit. So this is a telltale sign, right? To say John Deere has spent a lot of money. This is a beautiful, beautiful booth. It's a significant investment that could keep it modern and fresh. And these guys are all competitors, right? And so now you're seeing that play itself out. There's a lot of new booths and not a lot of new activity. And that's what keeps this show. Every year it's something new, something different, something visually. And a lot of these folks in here want to expand. And we can't. There's not a lot of real estate in here that's not taken. So it's a good problem to have.
What booth is the biggest in here?
You're in one of them.
Yeah, this one's humongous.
Yeah, so the Stanley Black & Decker, they've bought a bunch of brands. They're big, but a lot of folks have multiple brands, and they'll have different booths.
Right.
And not have them all in one space.
Well, from my perspective, a John Deere booth here, just the lights under the mowers, the friendly staff, the fact that they gave us prime time real estate here. This setup, Kris, has been so awesome to be able to just create content all day long. It's awesome.
It really is. And you right, South Wing B Lobby, you're right here in one of the principal boulevards. It's a great traffic pattern position. As you know, at 1.2, I think we're probably 1.25 million square feet, 30 acres. It's a physical beast of a show. I always tell people we got to wear comfortable shoes. But you need some time here. There's a lot of booths like this that are terrific. The products are terrific, but it means time.
Mm-hmm. What else, Kris, are you guys hearing from your perspective of how the show went? We know you had another record-breaking year, but what else are you hearing?
We got 12 dogs adopted.
Nice.
That's near and dear to my heart. We do that every year, but we had a big roll-up on, and we had some hurricane dogs here that came up from the south, and but we got 12 adopted, and that was at the end of the West Wing. We had to push into the West Wing, and it's going to come down. That's part of their renovation project.
What feedback did you guys receive from the success of the show?
It's really good, and we want that feedback, right? So we want to listen to folks like you, and it's good. It's a good energy this year. Weather cooperated, look cool. Weather cooperated, but lots of product, a lot of new product. And as you see in the booth, there's a lot of machines here. These guys have brought a lot of product into the space. We work with our partners in the education space and so whether it's landscape management or the irrigation association, pool and spa, outdoor lighting, you name it, we turn to professionals in their respective spaces to help us with education and training and engagement. And they do a fantastic job. And so we want to empower them. If you saw the education offerings, it's page after page after page. And so, and they filled up. And so we're doing something right there. But we want to hear from folks about this is whether it's a tax policy or new law, what have you. We want to learn about that. So dealer programming, landscape programming, the education sessions. And again, we've heard over and over and over, people want these peer-to-peer opportunities to hang out, have some fun, have a beer and a brat, that kind of thing. And that's a significant investment. That's just real money for a show to invest in. It was like parking. When we took this over, I was like, the biggest beef was parking. Why? Well, you too much time to get in.
And then you got to pay every time you came in and out.
It was nuts. And I said, we'll just pay for it. And it's a big check. But now you just blow through the gates and then stop. But no, we want to make this as good an experience as possible. The building's improving. I like the fact that we went to Churchill Downs this year. That's an iconic place, right? It's a lot of bucket list. It's a bucket list item. And it's beautiful. You could take pictures of the track. You got the Twin Spires there. And that's what I love about Louisville's, it's a Goldilocks town for us. It's big enough, small enough. People can know their way around. But you have, Yum Center Arena is a premier global facility. We've been in a lot of arenas, right? But the views at the back on the river, the giant,
beautiful.
It's a beautiful building. We want Equip to be experiential. We want you to have a good time while you're here, but we want you to do some business too. And that's finding that sweet spot.
Have you announced the opening reception for 2025 yet?
I'll do it right now. It's going to be at Churchill Downs.
Let's go. Nice.
We're going back to that building. We're going back to that space. People loved it. We'll probably tweak the entertainment. It's speech making. Nobody wants to hear me. But we'll do that. We're going to go back there. Remember, we do about 50-50 on attendance. So about 50% returning every year over year, or return, and then 50% new. And our numbers are growing. And so for half our audience, that'll be a new place every year. And again, if you're downtown, so that group of hotels, the arena, there's a big group of hotels out here by the KEC. People don't realize how close the Derby or Churchill Downs is to here. I mean, it's a mile. It's just, you make a left and you're there.
Yep.
So it's just very near the KEC and this group of hotels. Wednesday, I think next year, we're going to encourage people to get out on the town, do it yourselves. A lot of these manufacturers do events for their folks. So I think we'll bracket it, we'll shoulder it with an opening reception and the closing concert. Wednesday night, we'll encourage people to get out on their own.
That's fantastic. Now I want to give you pushback. You said no one wants to listen to you, Kris, but you've been doing the podcast circuit on Naylor's podcast, Fullerton's podcast, John Pajak, myself. I'm sure there's others, but I hear you a lot, and I think our community, we appreciate you telling us to park at the north, the north wing, and you live here, so you have these insights. We appreciate it. And what kind of correlation have you seen from, being a regular on all these shows now and the show just busting at the seams?
Well, you've changed the show. You've changed the dynamic. You've changed the engagement. You've changed the demographics and the age side of it. I mean, you guys have been such and I'm not just trying to blow smoke here. You guys have been such an extraordinary development. Just the influencer community, and it's you're not the Kardashians. It's just you guys are it's all about the business, right? You're out here to make these people's lives better, their businesses better. And that's what I want to do. Logistics, for me, it's get them in the building, get them through the gates, get them parked, get them, and this darn lot's not painted for 250s and Super Duties. It's just, they paint them for Corollas. And it's like, guys, our folks pull trailers, but we're working on that. But you guys have been an extraordinary boon to the business. And frankly, it's a way to reach younger audiences. It just is. I'm a living fossil. I get newspapers every day. But I'm so thankful for what you do here, and I couldn't be happier to talk to you guys. And yes, I do. I moved here when we brought this show in here, and I love Louisville, Kentucky. Went to law school here. But that's the point, right? And if they're listening to you, it's hard to find folks nowadays. Whether it's a magazine or radio, it's hard. It's hard to find them. And so you folks do that. You reach out there, and I know you're well-intentioned, and you're trying to make it better for them and help improve their businesses, and you're improving ours, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I appreciate everything you do for Naylor because he has such a heart to serve the community. Yep. And we used to do what we now call the morning show. Originally, you guys put us upstairs in one of those C rooms way down there, and then I think you popped your head in and you told Naylor, you're like, man, you guys get butts and seats because it was standing room only. Then you gave us the main ballroom, B103, on Thursday for our event, the morning show, which was another success this year. So thanks for doing that and for our community. And then I know Naylor meets at the Yum Center before the Trace Atkins concert. We met last night overlooking the Ohio River, and I know you guys had a thing to do with getting Naylor that venue. So thank you.
Well, we want to do more. Again, it's a value proposition, and so whatever I can do to help you, incentivize you, get you one of these setups where you want, whether it's at the Yum Center or someplace else or Churchill. You tell me. Again, you know best, you know your audience best, you know these folks best. I'll listen to you.
We really appreciate it. Kris, you did mention new renovations and constructions. That hasn't begun yet? That's not why Gate 4 was closed, or that was?
That's part of it. So it's all in stages now. So they're going to make an effort so that they don't disrupt the business enterprise here. They don't want to send shows away. So it's like when they renovate a bridge, right? You can keep it open and it's longer, or you can close it and it's shorter. And so they're going to keep it open.
Okay.
And so now there'll be some disruption in construction, but the way it's going to be, there'll be a new pavilion, a new standalone building just north of here, kind of behind Freedom Hall. That'll go up. When that's up and you can transition the West Wing square feet to there, they'll knock the West Wing down, build another new pavilion there. So the facility's going to get bigger, more square feet, better building, right? Newer building. And at the same time, they're going to make physical improvements here. Lavatories, ingress, again, this whole building reorients to the north. So you'll see it as you come down 65. But it's, as you know, it's going to be a long-term thing. There's going to be, let's say minimal disruption. Well, I don't know what that means just yet. But they're not going to alter the square feet or shrink the square feet or the footprint during the renovation.
That's fantastic. Well, Kris, is there anything we're leaving out here that you want to share?
If you're not here, you're missing it. I don't. So I was with a group from the United Kingdom, right? So they were here. I was just doing an interview with those guys, and they're just amazed by it. This morning they posted a video from their experience here, and they're saying, it's the largest landscape contractor trade show in the world.
Wow.
And it is. Now there are big shows, construction, but you're tied into construction or forestry or ag. There's a big show in China, there's a big show in Germany. But this is the largest show of its kind. It's a global show. So this year I think we're all 50 states, 46 countries, 45 countries. It's a global show. And so if you're not here, you're missing something. And we do it right. So it's an experience, it's an event. It's not just a shiny stuff in a building. We'll get you dirty. Right? You're going to need comfortable shoes because our folks live in the real world. This is not a finance, real estate, insurance kind of trade show. This is real stuff. And so if you're not here, you're missing it. And so we encourage you wherever you are. We got folks from New Zealand and Guam.
I met a guy in Australia yesterday, Nathan's Lawn Gardens, Australia.
That's a long flight.
Yeah.
And you got to work to get here to Louisville, Kentucky. But once you're here, it's worth the trip, and we'll take care of you when you're here. Again, we have a lot of good, big activities. Our manufacturers put on a good show. They work closely with their folks and their dealer bodies. So you got to come to Louisville.
Absolutely. The last few years, Kris, you guys have given me promo code Paul. They put that in when they register, and then it slices the ticket 50% off. Even if you're capitalizing on an early bird offer, you get an extra 50% off of that. Is the coupon code Paul activated for 2025?
You bet. If it's not, it'll be fixed here in about 2 minutes.
All right. Awesome.
You bet. We want you back.
So you can get your tickets now, plan accordingly now for Equip Expo 2025. We'll have those dates to you soon, sometime in October. But you can get your tickets with the coupon code Paul. Did you announce a ticket price yet, or the early bird price, or?
I think we're holding steady next year.
So $12.50 for the early bird after coupon code.
Boy,
Paul.
don't hold me to that. You're going to have to ask Evan.
Yeah.
But I think we're holding steady.
Okay, and that's very reasonable prices. I mean,
it's crazy reasonable.
Yeah. I go to other events; it's $500,000 and beyond, and so for $12.50,
and that's an investment. Look, we go into our pocket hard for Churchill, for Yum. But that's worth the investment. If folks have a good time, if they come here and they engage with one another, it's worth it. It makes the show what it is. But it is a real investment on our part.
Yeah, and once you get your badge, you go to Churchill Downs. You get to go to the Yum Center. You have to have your badge on, but this thing gets you all across town there.
That's your all venue pass all week.
Yep. All right, Kris, I really appreciate it. Is there anything we missed?
Glad to have you here.
All right, thanks so much. We appreciate your time. Congratulations on another record-breaking year at the Equip Expo. Thanks again to our friends at John Deere for the studio. Hope to catch you on the next video.